That's a fold. Hello.
And we have got Neil Farrell opening here with queens under the gun. Ace-Jack for Chen with a 36 big blind stack. I do not see Neil Farrell folding queens pre-flop.
No. There are situations where folding queens pre-flop can be advisable. We've already seen one of those. When you're under 40 big blinds, you are extremely rarely likely to fold queens.
So Chen flatted in the hijack with Ace-Jack. Vam has flatted from the small blind with Jack-8 of diamonds. Action now on Jaime Cervantes in the big blind. He folds, so we are going three-way to the flop. And that flop is 9-5-3 with 2 diamonds.
Oh, wow, what a flop. I mean, Neil in this situation also having queen of diamonds, that's one less diamond for the Jack-8 to improve into if, for example, he had 2 black queens instead. This is a spot where he's going to get a ton of action, James, which is what you want. I mean, when you got queens, when you have the best hand, you want action, right? Unless they improve, and then it's the worst situation of your life.
Yeah. Interestingly, he's checked. And so Chen, who's only got 8% here, is the one doing the betting. 85,000 into 255,000.
You know, this actually reminds me of the situation yesterday where Conan flopped a straight against a flop set and decided to play it as a check raise. And again, in some situations, especially around this really awkward stack depth, it can be better to check raise flop because it allows you to get more chips in faster. And it certainly is a confusing tactic that will put people off the scent of the strength of your hand, too. So in this spot, I think that might be what he's going for. But Vam is coming along here.
What do you do with queens? You've got an overpair to the board, but one of your opponents has bet.
Oh,
and
man.
now the chip leader has just check raised to 285,000. Is this a get it in spot?
You know what? This is another really, really tough one for Neil. Both people can have sets here, right? You know, both players are at a stack depth where they will be flatting with pairs, 3s, 5s, 8s, 9s, you know, 7s, all that kind of stuff. And with this kind of aggressive action, I mean, he might be tempted to fold. We were talking about you're rarely going to get away from queens at this stack depth, but there's been so much strength shown here. He is still getting it in, though.
Yeah.
And it is still the best hand, so he's making the right play here.
It's triangle time for the last remaining EPT champion as we see Chen fold. And Vam with the decision. He's actually got solid equity here. It's almost 60-40.
Yeah, this is a great spot, and he's definitely found a cool one. It might be too much for the Jack-8 suited to call. In fact, it's only one overcard to the board. If it was King-Queen of diamonds, perhaps, he'd probably just still get it in. Maybe Ace-10 of diamonds.
Well, he's called.
He has called.
And that means Neil Farrell is at risk, but has got it in good. There are 8 cards that Neil Farrell has to fade. Does not want to see a diamond. The turn card is the 3 of clubs pairing the board.
That's fewer outs now. For Vam, 9 of diamonds is no good, sir.
It's the 6 of diamonds. It is the flush for Vam, and that will see Neil Farrell KO'd.
Sinclair with clubs of the ace-king variety.
I wonder whether Hamilton's going to raise on the break. He's going to be like, Gran, get down here. He's the more sympathetic character in this narrative.
Yeah.
Wheeling out elderly family
passes.
members to testify on your behalf.
The sailor that found his shipwrecked. Then ace-king not doing well.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my 2 pair.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, this is, you do certainly get to bet a bit wider and for value and protection, as we talked about as chip leader. The ace-king falls into the category. But it is a little bit weird, deep stacked, when the board's going to change with 2 pair. I think we do probably want to check raise, but it's a little bit dicey. And yet, this is just not an eventuality that happens too often. You don't get check raise very often as the chip leader. Hamilton interacts with this low board a bit less than normal because he's forced to fold, but the reason to check the ace-king would be to avoid this situation.
But you're not expecting to happen super often.
Yeah, just draw to the dummy. Maybe it's just fine. Just bet and fold.
Fold, yeah.
You just can be dead or just drawing to nothing. But people get quite attached to ace-king. And, you know, we can see, obviously, that the 2 is very clean. You know, and even the 2 of diamonds is fine, but I don't know.
I mean, what if Hamilton just has
Oh boy, that could be
the
a
6-7
pricey card for Sinclair.
And now it's a super weird spot with the 4-3. I mean, are you going to find yourself up against ace-5, you know, pocket deuce it? Like, where are you in your range? Like, how much equity does 4-3 have? Do you want to just get value from the ace-x, which is going to be a lot of Sinclair's range? Super, super weird turn card with the 4-3. And I really don't, I mean, I guess we go into a block bet line would make some sense. You know?
2.1 million in the middle, almost 2.2.
What is it?
Hamilton betting.
Yeah, this
900.
this pot
550.
Goes again a little bit. Just this is my hand trick, but I think it makes some sense. And Sinclair is involved now. Obviously, you know, does have outs: the 5, the king, the ace, the 2 for the chop. Can't fold now, Sinclair. You feel just taking stock of the situation. You know, real live player Jack will be trying to work through what this exact sizing means. I mean, certainly we just call. And big river card incoming.
Big river card, big pot. Jack of clubs.
Yeah.
So 4-3 is good.
Bottom 2 just weird because there's so little visibility. Like, have we just, you know, is Sinclair just backed into ace jack? Seems quite possible. Ace jack with the diamond. Has he just backed into, you know, ace 5? You know, were we dead already somehow? Can we bet this for value?
If you can't bet this for value, what can you bet for value?
Well, but if we block, are we just going to get bluff raised by king 6 or something? You know, or are they? Is Sinclair going to turn 6-4 into a bluff and take us off our hand? But
Does look a little like block sizing.
yeah, I mean, this is certainly how much. Wow, it's
1.3, so
yeah.
it's a little over.
This would be an amazing
third of
fold.
Kind of nice bets all the way down, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this would be a bit. This would be a really stunning fold from Sinclair if he can make it. By the way, because don't think. Yeah, is he gonna? Yeah, look at this. He's not happy. I mean, and this is maybe the problem with calling check raise on the flop because you've got the ace and you're still not happy. But you know, Jack Sinclair will have played a lot of poker with Ian Hamilton, will have a strong sense of his game. You know what? I guess there's plenty of obvious bluffs, 8-7 of diamonds. But are you going to bluff the ace-jack run out, you know?
I mean, isn't that really the name of the game is if you live by the hero call to not also die by the hero call?
Just as you say that, makes the call shown bad news. Very well played, 4-3 of clubs for Ian Hamilton. Vaults him into the chip lead.
This time it's Jakobsen with pocket yaks. Against a lot of players, I think he'd probably fire again here. But to see how these folks play against each other is a whole different story a lot of the time. Yeah, he is going to fire again.
Yeah, I think Martin's probably expecting a c-bet on the ace-high turn very, very frequently from Mateos. And I think when you're playing somebody of this caliber, if you're going to under-rep your jacks, I think you probably need to continue on this turn a lot of the time. Otherwise, you are just going to get blasted off the best hand a little bit too often. Obviously, adjusting for your opponent, you could be folding this to somebody who you think is much tighter, but we know that Mateos is somebody completely capable of turning the ace into a bluff. And in this case, it is a bluff. It's still a semi-bluff because he can make the straight with the queen.
And Maria, is the pot size bet here a little suspect? Does that factor into Martin's call at all?
Yeah, I mean, sure, there's a few draws that, you know, if you had a good, strong ace here, you might want to protect from. But I'm sure the sizing, of course, does give him a few alarm bells going off in the head where, you know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You would expect all of the strong aces to still want to get some value. So didn't really expect the pot size bet on the turn. This is a pretty nice brick on the river, though. Very innocuous river where, you know, I would imagine Mateos, if he goes for it, is going to go for a really big sizing as well. And then it's just a matter of, does he have a big ace or not?
I've seen this movie multiple times. I've done a lot of commentary on Mateos, and he ships it here pretty often. I've seen this look on his face so many times. It's not going to be a ship, but it's going to be big, right? 152 in the middle. Jakobsen with the effective stack. Upsend. Okay, no. Yeah, big one. 140. 140.
So punishing. So punishing.
Putting Jakobsen in the corner.
I think he knows he should call this, but it's so hard to do in the moment, and he makes the fold.
I told you I've seen this one before. Mateos.
Awesome. Just awesome.
Mateos, the boss. Pudel under the gun with 2 kings.
Hamilton's got about 35 big blinds here. Does decide to come along on the button. Interesting that Kishu decides to come along here in the small blind.
Right?
9-7 suited, very pretty hand.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. It's okay. Now you know. Everybody knows that.
Looks like he's put in an accidental raise to boot. Pudel super duper happy about this situation. The accidental raise when he's opening kings from under the gun, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, what a dream setup right now. This is exactly what you're looking for.
Is it a dream setup?
Yeah, I mean, getting more chips in the middle, especially when you know your opponent didn't mean to do it, is a pretty good situation to find yourself in.
But do you put in another raise now, I guess? Or
yeah.
Because you're probably going to win the pot right here, right? If you 4-bet.
It's a really close one because this isn't queens. If it's queens, yeah, you just rip and you just pick up a big pot at non-showdown, right?
Right.
Kings and aces, obviously, a lot less vulnerable. Requires a lot more thought here because now you go, do I go for more value or do I just protect my position in this tournament and not bust because I was silly and just allowed
Get
him to
it
see
in
a
while
flop
the money is
cheap.
good, as opposed to anything you have to do post-flop,
Exactly.
you're going to be less likely to have the best hand.
Yeah, so being second in chips here, and there already being so much dead money in the middle now, there's already 540K out there. I think there's a chance that from an ICM standpoint that you should just go for it and just win it at non-showdown. But
well, he's picked a third option.
yeah, well, okay, sorry. Putting in more chips or calling, I guess, is what we were trying to make reference to.
Okay, got it. That's the 4-bet, the 470,000. Hamilton will be exiting the hand, as will Kishu. No reason to get into some kind of leveling war here.
However, given the fact that he thinks that everyone's trying to exploit the fact that he made a chip mistake,
I know.
He might go, well,
That's
okay,
what I'm saying.
this
Don't
guy's,
do that.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Four?
Joe.
He's just going to call.
Joe, he's going to take a flop.
Well, this is getting weird. And it's an ace-high flop. I mean, kings could maybe get bluffed. So sick, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I know he's not rolling his eyes.
It just looks like it.
But I would be. Always an ace on the desk.
Pudel's just got a little bit over pot behind in his stack.
And that's right. There is no way for kings to improve here, at least not by hitting a king.
Puts in a very, very, very small C-bets.
Oh, jeez, what are you doing? What are you doing? This guy's all hopped up on joke endorphins.
Joke endorphins.
Oh, my goodness. That is a spade. That is a flush draw.
Not like this, Joe. Not like this.
What in the world? of the Heavenly Father of Romania is going on in this hand. What a bizarre thing to be happening in this here, the year of Romania.
Okay, but now imagine he just meant to flat in the small blind. He didn't mean to 3-bet. Does that mean he never has an ace? Does that mean I always have effectively top pair? These are the things that have got to be going through Pudel's head at this stage. 2 checks, though, and the spade river.
Oh, my goodness. Runner, runner, everything's funner.
Oh, Joe, what did I say about getting it in pre-flop and avoiding these situations? Absolute savagery.
We both said it.
Yeah.
Now, Dan Kishu's played, as far as I'm concerned, reasonably well today. This, I don't know what is going on here. I don't know what the thought process was. I can't begin to wrap my head around it. But he's going to win this hand.
Joe, here's what happened. I don't want to let this punk kid make this move on me because I made a chip mistake. You can't be taking advantage of your elders there, young whippersnapper.
Now, he's given Pudel plenty of reason to get away from this.
Oh, joke.
Folds.
That was a joke already in itself.
But wins a big
That
pot
was a good one.
and retakes the chip lead.
Do you hear what he said, Joe? He went, all right, give us a joke. And he goes, that was a good one.
Was, like, solo play.
Well, the man with no shoes is going to open here with aces.
Oh, no, here he folded.
Yeah, it's
I like his style.
Connor Beresford who's giving action here, calling in the cutoff with ace-3 suited. Simon Matson on the button. Only seen one of his cards, the 6 of diamonds.
Yeah, and given that Antoine has the ace of diamonds, I guess we're looking at pocket 6s kind of often. Occasional 6-7 of diamonds. Kalkan with the ace deuce off, which we know he likes.
Oh, yeah. He got away from it once.
Squeeze.
Got away from it once. Are you serial?
Oh, wow. Wow, what a great feature table this is.
So what's not going to throw in?
Let's go deuce, deuce, 6, 2 spades.
What about the aces?
So, 4 players going to the flop.
Ace high flop would cause havoc.
Yes, it sure would.
It would be nice to have.
No.
There you go. You were not far off, brother.
Ace. Instead, we get the nut flush for Connor Beresford.
Unreal.
Oh,
Let's observe Connor's eyebrows. Let's. Whoa, hello.
I believe that.
Zoinks.
Kalkan's got his lucky pearls out. How attached are you going to be to a pair of deuces?
Oh, the aces check, huh?
Yeah, and if we just were to picture Connor's range here on the cutoff specifically,
Friends or
just
family.
not too many hands that aren't
Maybe an
pairs
application
or
or
suited, basically. Of course, there's there's
for my
a
work.
queen jack and
I
a
can
king jack,
be without it.
but
Yeah,
queen.
in a way, some.
yeah, I mean, but
It would be
I don't know whether you would just bet king, queen of diamonds here. But yeah, there's the suited. I mean, you just, the other flush he's blocked. Maybe king 9. I mean, the jack and 10 rule out a lot of flushes as well, though, by the way. Like, just because now you don't have the queen jack of spades. Or the,
Would he bet his jack 10s here also? Like if
Yeah,
you're
at
jack
least-
10 of diamonds?
At least some of the time you would imagine, yes. So, but I mean, you're obviously you're losing to that also. So,
Right.
yeah, Antoine not going to get overexcited.
Turn card is the 5 of diamonds, and Labatt drawing dead.
Is Connor ever going to have ace jack off with the ace of spades or something like that?
It could
ace
happen.
10 with the ace of spades?
I think ace 10
That's a
off.
fold.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a fold or certainly a flop check. I mean, basically, Connor needs to start bluffing some 6s with a 6 of spades here across 3 streets.
Wow, okay.
That's how
Yeah,
you
I'm
sort-
only thinking about the one end. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, this pot, because we actually randomly went 4-way, despite the small sizing, this pot got very big compared to Anton Labatt's stack. 42K, so if he calls, this pot it'll leave him basically half pot behind.
Yeah.
And
I still.
this is a very precarious situation to find yourself in.
Cheers.
And I wouldn't be stunned if Antoine just folded.
I will stand up and applaud.
I mean, it would be a very impressive fold. Maybe he's going to make him put it in on the river. And this is just a genuine tank. Do I want to just raise all in here and fold out the equity or like stack queen jack? Do I want to just fold because I'm going to get bluffed on the river, or I'm going to just be, obviously you can just be drawing dead here against some of the hand. I mean, you are drawing dead against Connor's actual hand, and that's not going to be so unlikely. Where is Connor pulling his bluffs? And does he just start betting four-way with, king, queen of clubs here? Real difficult spot for a very, very experienced pro.
Oh. He elects to move all in. He will get snap called, and he is drawing dead. We're going to have to put Labatt on ice. He is KO'd by Connor Beresford.